Welcome to the OVAReact podcast.
In a society that tries to put women in a box.
And let's overreact. It's your girl Mo.
It's your girl Angela Wamboy.
And it's your girl Lash Angela. And today we have a special guest. Just say your name.
My name is Njoki. I serve as the head of strategy and partnerships at Raising Capital. Raising Capital is an African capital raising house where we help businesses access capital. And it's also the mastermind behind Capital Connect, which is a capital raising platform. And I'll give you more details.
Okay, if you're overreacting with us for the first time, you're welcome. This is where progressive conversations happen. And you can catch up with us every last Wednesday of the month on...
Of course, live on Capital FM 98.4, where we get to do an Overreact hour, where we overtake the fuse for 1 hour alongside Anwara. And it's exciting because we talk every and anything women, our trials, our tribulations, our triumphs. And we also get to celebrate women through music, where we have a full lineup of all female playlist.
Yeah, and if you want to catch up with our previous episodes, you can actually listen to our last conversation on Sister Speaks Global on Spotify. But today is a special day. I don't think you guys know who this person is to me. So fun fact, this is Njoki. She is, on formal purposes, she is the head of strategy and partnerships for Raising Capital and Capital Connect Africa. And that's actually why we have her here. But fun fact, we were once in primary school together.
Wow. No.
Yeah, yes way. So what happened was, for everyone who's also listening and for you guys to see how funny it is I met Penny's boss. We were at an event and for like investors and entrepreneurs. And then he told me about his business. We exchanged contact. I emailed him because we want to see how we can connect with the things that we're trying to do with Sister Speaks. And then he says, he connects me to Njoki, right? So I'm not thinking anything of it. And then she messages me and says, I know who you are. You are in HHS. HHS stands for Hospital Hill.
Yeah.
So then now when we met, I was like, oh, no, I remember you. So that's the fun fact. The world is a decimal.
Small.
It's a very, very small. So another interesting reason as to why we've also had Penny here is if you follow us at Sister Speaks 254, we want to start a capacity building program specifically targeting entrepreneurs. This came about during like COVID, understanding things around like gender lens investing, understanding that women, especially women, and I know that the fact is 2% of entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, only get funding. But if we were to really trickle down that 2%, you might find that African numbers are probably not even there, or like 0.0.0. Yeah. And so our goal is to, how do we get more women as sit in the table where they can ask and negotiate for their worth, for their business, or even have the confidence to get a loan, or even be better at generating more revenue so that they can increase their business. So with that being said, it is a pleasure having you here, my former primary school mate. Our little young ones are so excited right now. And shout out to all Hospital Hill. Look at us now. So before we get into the business of today, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's start there.
Thank you, Lash. Thank you, ladies, for having me here. I'm quite excited. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say an 8.
Yeah.
The weather is quite nice, and being in the presence of great women.
Aww.
Yeah.
And you look like sunshine yourself.
Thank you.
Yes.
Maybe introduce yourself further, and then I guess in the basis of today's conversation, is there any myths that you'd love to debunk when it comes to like African women entrepreneurship, investor talk?
All right. Thank you for that. So a myth that I'd love to debunk about fundraising. Yes, there's a myth that for you to get an investor, you have to be profitable or making profit. Yeah.
So that's a myth?
It is a big myth. So for you to get an investor, you don't have to be making profit, but you need to show the investors that you're on the path of growth. There's growth that's coming. Yes. And also within that growth, down the line, they can see that somewhere you'll be making profit. Right?
You've just like made it clear how we just need to act. that those doors can open to us, but we close our own doors because
True.
of this perception that we have.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that, debunking that myth. I think it ties to how us as women, we are seen as risk averse. And so we don't tend to bring bring out our business ideas to the limelight because we feel like I'm not there yet, and I don't want to show people that this is my business. It's still small, so the investors won't be even interested. Talk to us about what makes one investor ready. I might have an idea right now, have a beautiful business model Canva, I have my projections right, my total addressable market is to the T, everything. So does that make me investor ready? Or what do you term as investor ready?
Okay, so to answer your question, I'll say partly yes. So think of investor readiness as you're planning a trip. So you say, I want to go to Mombasa, all right? For you to go to
See how you got our
Mombasa.
attention?
Yeah.
We're like, dreams. Tell us more.
Yeah, so if you want to go to Mombasa, first you have to begin by knowing, am I flying? Am I driving? Then you have to have a thought through the entire process, right? Where am I gonna stay? Everything. So with capital raising, the first thing you have to do is determine if you are eligible, okay? Because you have to know, are investors even gonna look at me?
Okay.
Right? Is my business at a place where I can say now I want to invest, right? You just don't wake up and go to an investor, right? So you have to go through readiness. Eligibility. Am I eligible for investment? Then once you determine your eligibility, now you have to go through preparedness. You have to curate your story to the language of an investor. Right? You have to curate your story through marketing materials to be able to market your business to the investor. So this is in form of valuation. You have to get your pitch decks. You have to get your business model. All those are things that now you're going to present to the investor to show them what your business is all about. Then after that, now we're going to matchmaking. Investors have different criteria they're looking for. So as a business, you might not be privy to that. And that's where we come in. We have a list, we have a portfolio of just above 3,000 investors. And these investors have different criteria, all right? So based on the preparation that we've done, we are able to seamlessly match you to an investor. Think of it as a dating site.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an investor on that end, there's what they're looking for, there's a business on this end, there's what they're looking for. Okay. So we match. Then after that, there's transaction structuring. So this is where now you get into the negotiations of a transaction, and that's where we also come in to support with that.
Oh, amazing.
Very nice. So with your two different platforms, of course they vary in who they attract and who they serve to. Maybe for those that are listening, can you tell us, when it comes to entrepreneurs or different businesses, which ones fit? Who do they serve and who do they attract?
All right, that's a great question. So we have raising capital, right? Raising capital looks at businesses that are established 2 years and above.
2.
Yes.
Okay.
And businesses that are looking to raise $3 million USD and above.
Okay.
Okay.
What's that in Kenyan shillings? What's 3 million?
Currently, the rate is around 127,
Okay.
130.
So those are big businesses that are also what they're serving is. Okay.
But then we realize that there's a big chunk that's left out, because most of the businesses right now fall within 3 million USD and below. So that's how Capital Connect came about, right? And you see the process in raising 3 million USD and below that is the same. So we thought to make it tech-enabled so that it's quite seamless.
Someone's
right?
heart is like so excited.
Yeah.
Over here,
Talk to
women
me,
in tech.
Yeah.
Talk to me, tech.
Yeah. So yeah, we figured out there's a very big chunk of SMEs, MSMEs that are left out. So if you have a business idea, if you have a running business, anyone fits into that platform. Yeah, so we're able to just prepare you, and then if you're ready, we eventually match make you with an investor.
What's your smallest ticket size? Say, for example, I've been doing business for the last 1 to 2 years, and I'm now looking to fundraise. What's the smallest ticket size that I can get from you guys? Of course, I have to go through the eligibility and deal making.
Okay. Sorry, something I forgot to mention. The platform is Capital Connect is a platform. That's www.capitalconnect.africa. And this is catering to anyone, as long as you're below 3 million USD, because there are different kind of investors.
Okay. What are some of like just so for raising, I can come either from an investor point of view or from an entrepreneur point of view, as long as an entrepreneur I'm seeking that kind of money and above, right?
You're right.
Yes.
Right.
And then now, I guess, so there are entrepreneurs who are listening who probably fit in within raising capital. I'm assuming that when they come to you, you're going to decide where they belong, or maybe even talk about like Capital Connect, because Capital Connect, I can just go onto the website and fill the information, correct? So, but just maybe share what that looks like.
Yeah, I think you captured it very well. So I like the fact that you've identified our two main clients, quote unquote. So on one end, we have businesses that are looking to raise capital, any form of funding, debt or equity, right? And we deal with any sector, although we are very hesitant to deal with real estate, gaming, and mining, because those ones are quite tricky.
Okay. Is it from the licensing point of view, or?
There's a lot
in
in it, yeah, so we're very hesitant. On this other end, we have investors who are looking for pipeline, right? They're looking for businesses to invest in, right? So that's where we seamlessly merge them. Onto your question of the platform, so what happens is, as a business, you just log onto the platform, key in your details. Think of it, I'll go back to the dating site. Yeah. So
Swipe right.
I know.
That's what the investor does.
Yeah. So yeah, you just go key in your details, because this is the information that will be used to match you to an investor.
Yeah.
Right. And I know everyone is going to say, but I don't want my business ideas to be stolen. First of all, we are registered for data protection. Second, when you key in your details, they're the basic details. We don't ask you for your business secrets, basic information. And then this is not visible to everyone on the platform. Okay? Should you get matched to an investor, they only see the basic details like what sector you're in, how much you're looking for, just the basics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Question. So there are different ecosystems. So there's East Africa, which is more Kenya is the landing base, whereby like we've raised more money than any other ecosystem, South, West. What chunk of that has come through Capital Connect?
Wow. Very good question.
See?
So, however, there's a disclaimer to it. Yeah. So within capital raising, most of these deals are very anonymous.
Okay.
Right? So sometimes it's not easy to like delve into the details. For example, if you're coming to me to raise money, you wouldn't want people knowing Lash is raising money, because guys will go like, is she broke? Yeah. So we really try and keep those conversations very tight, unless the client wants to announce. For example, SMEP Bank announced a transaction that we did with them. So most of that information is very chini ya maji. Yeah.
Okay. And the businesses are mostly in Kenya, or let's say, for example, if you work from Rwanda, but you can get funding from your...
Yes, great question too. So currently we're serving businesses in Africa.
In Africa,
right?
okay.
We currently have transactions going on in, of course, Kenya, because that's our hub. We have Tanzania, Uganda, then South Sudan, Rwanda, and surprise, surprise, Somalia.
No way.
Yes.
Things have changed.
Somalia is very lucrative.
What kind of businesses are coming from Somalia?
There's a lot of energy-related transactions. Yeah.
I feel like also financial solutions like fintech is becoming a thing. Yeah, in Somalia.
You're right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
So far to date, what has been one of your success stories with any of your clients that you have helped get funding? How has your platform transformed their business or their entrepreneurship journey?
Interesting. So on Capital Connect, the latest I can think of, there's a lady who's doing briquettes. She's a young lady. She's doing briquettes and she's been looking for funding. She has these fantastic ideas. But as you all know, if you don't have capital, it's very hard to scale, right? And just to get off track a bit, you talked about women shying away from capital, right? Yes. Women also shy away a lot from raising funds because they're like, someone will come and take over my business, or they're like, okay, what if it becomes too big? I just want to have just enough, right? So we're trying to debunk that, right? You can't grow as a business if you do not have funding. Right. Think of, for example, so this lady currently she's serving the Kenyan market, specific market within Nairobi, but she wants to expand. For you to expand, you need an investor. So she's been on the platform, and currently we are matchmaking her. And soon we're going to have a success story.
That sounds good. That's amazing even for her and boosting. How long has she been doing her business for?
I think just under 1 year.
Good for her to have the confidence to recognize first that her business can get capital and even just taking that step, which I think like it has been mentioned, is that sometimes, and maybe you can all share, is that imposter syndrome, or like you're your own, before you even consider other limitations, the first limitation is yourself. With your platforms, I'm curious now, in terms of age, in terms of gender, like what's the kind of percentages are you seeing? Are you seeing more women rising, or is it still very much a huger percentage towards the guys? Is it younger?
Right now, I'd say it's a mix, right? Because with current whatever is happening within the finance world, there's a lot of equality happening, where previously men-owned businesses were getting a lot of funding, but then now there's a lot of focus on women and youth, right? And there's something I've forgotten to add. When people think of funding and capital, they think of debt. They think of banks, right? Loans. They think of, I have to repay someone, but that's not the truth, right? We have angel investors, right? We have funds. Then now we have the debt, we have the equity. There's all kinds of funding available. So I'm going to urge women, just get on the platform. These investors are looking for women, right? And we are empowering women, so.
What are they looking for? Maybe let's speak to that entrepreneur that's a woman that has a business. What is it that you're finding entrepreneurs are seeking? What is it, particular type of industry? How do we get that woman to sign up today?
Good question. So, like I said, we have all kinds of investors on the platform.
Yeah.
Right? And right now, there's a lot of funding going to women and youth, right? So investors are just looking for businesses that are ready. you are investor ready. An investor will get to you, right? Because the biggest thing we've seen is businesses are not investor ready. Yeah. First, you
What
don't
does that
know,
mean? What does that look like?
Okay, so you don't know the entire capital raising process,
Okay.
right? You don't know what you need to do in-house as a business to ensure you're investor ready. You don't have the marketing materials because you have to learn the investor language, right? Yeah, that's basically it. They are not ready. So you see, an investor will come, for example, you have a business, investor is ready to invest in your business, but there's so many gaps, right? And an investor will look at maybe 1,000 businesses before they pick that one. It's quite tedious, right? So the platform is making things seamless. So through the platform, you're able to get your eligibility report, right, which you can download. You'll be able to get your preparedness report, which you can download, right? So you're able to know what areas do I need to fix, right? Then if you are prepared, now you're able to even be match made, because you can't go through matchmaking without preparedness. And we even have a session where you can book a one-on-one session with an analyst just to get deeper insights on how you can get prepared.
Yeah.
That's a great segue to what Lash mentioned earlier. It's a capacity building program that we're going to pilot called CESA. And we are very grateful for your support. So in case you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to have that kind of support, to be eligible, to be investor prepared and ready, you want to check it out. Yeah, and Lash can share more on that.
Yeah, so it's a program that's a 6-week program essentially, and it's to take you through from beginning. So do you have a business Canva model? Do you understand how your business looks like now, in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years? How do you look like socially in the social world, in your digital platforms? Do you have a website? What's your sales strategy look like? How are you using tech to advance what you're doing? And how's your books financially? Because that's also very important when it comes to an investor. And even legally, that's also very important for
clients,
it's part of the eligibility. And then the conversation around being investor ready, being suitable. So the language, and so the conversation we're having now will be a more deep dive conversation and getting your mindset right. So we're really excited. We've worked on this for quite some time, and we're ready to activate, and we're looking for women who are feeling that they're ready, women like the briquette lady, who are wanting to take their business to a step further. And as Mo said, we're really excited. I think with what you know now in terms of connecting with entrepreneurs, what's one single advice or a couple single advices that you would give to an entrepreneur, like especially because you've dealt with investors, you've had conversations with investors, what's the advice you'd give them?
So first thing, when it comes to capital raising, we always say, don't raise when you need the money, right? Raise just before you need the money, because you're able to negotiate for better terms.
Because oh my God, you'll sell yourself short.
Right.
Okay, nice one.
The second one is don't be afraid to get an investor. Just, they're out there. There's more to investment than just debt, right? Yeah, there are a lot of investors looking to invest. So be out there.
I think
Stop
one thing
having a bedroom affair with your business.
I had one last question, actually. I was just thinking, what's a tip you would give an entrepreneur when it comes to negotiating better? Because you've just raised that point and I think women, that's where we fail, even in the dating side. We don't negotiate ourselves better.
We sell ourselves short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are financial advisors. Yeah. So don't go into a transaction without an advisor.
You heard that
practical.
right. You heard that right.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you, I guess?
So our website is www.capitalconnect.africa. That's a platform for SMEs and MSMEs. And then we're all over the social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok.
You are?
Yes, we are.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Giving financial advice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, we're just about to wrap up, but Penny, thank you so much for sharing your practical tips. Make sure that you do follow her platforms for anyone looking to scale their business. But make sure you follow at OVAReact Podcast and at Sister Speaks 254. And you can catch us live on Capital FM every Wednesday from 10 p.m.
And yeah, remember, stop having a bedroom affair with your business. The 2% won't cut it. The ecosystem is changing. There's money to be earned or to be fundraised, and raising capital will help you do that. And especially if you're a woman entrepreneur.
Yeah. So don't sit there thinking that you can't grow. You can grow with us through CESA, and you can grow with us through also Capital Connect. So please look out for more information of how the CESA, you can sign up for the CESA program, and let's continue having this conversation. Ladies, I want to invite you. Let's
Overreact.